So as Mark said, we are a demand-side data intelligence platform for real estate. What that really means is when you think about most real estate, the way people think about what to build, where, at what price point, has a lot to do with historic performance in a market. The problem with that, though, it makes it very difficult to understand what was causal versus coincidental and why particular properties performed the way they did and what will ultimately perform well going forward. So we decided to ultimately enter this market after spending years running bespoke studies for real estate developers on how to ultimately inform their decision-making about what to build, where, and why. And I thought it would be good to just begin with a quick video about what we do and the need we solve and what ultimately drove the development of the Rockerbox platform.
People. They're who we build for. But how do we know what they really want? For years, real estate developers and investors have made multi-million-dollar decisions based largely on gut and backward-looking, often incomplete data, leaving them little insight into what the future holds or how to capitalize on it to maximize demand and earn greater returns. But what if you could know? With Rockerbox, you can. We collect and analyze millions of target audience data points about the preferences, priorities, and perceptions of people, and how these factors influence the decisions they make about where they choose to live. We ask them not just what they want in their next place, but what they'd pay more for, and why. And we keep asking, across markets, asset classes, and population segments. Using proprietary polling, predictive analytics, and AI, we apply these fresh insights to familiar real estate datasets and market metrics to paint far more vivid, accurate, and predictive pictures of a building's future. The power comes from real-time human insight, and we're confident you'll want to hear what people have to say. What if you could know who your target audiences are, what matters most to them, and what should be built for them? What might such insights mean to you? It's not clairvoyance. It just feels that way. Rockerbox, turning human preference into actionable intelligence.
I'm always a believer that video speaks much better than I do at the front of a room. So what does that really mean? What does demand-side data really mean? It means that we ultimately collect a lot of data from a lot of people in various markets. And why that's important is we help understand what are the preferences, priorities, things that make people make their decisions about where they want to live and why. Our platform is ultimately aligned around multiple different stages of an asset's life cycle, everything from the decision to buy a piece of property all the way through disposition. And the platform helps you inform decision-making at every critical stage of an asset's life cycle. And you can see some of the early adopters of our platform at the bottom. It's a fairly large market. Our data models are geographically agnostic. It means that we can deploy in pretty much any country, anywhere in the world. Obviously, we are starting in the United States. You can see our total TAM is about $92 billion for our very first product. Our SOM, which is really our service obtainable market, is about $3.4 billion. From a competitive landscape standpoint, what's pretty interesting is that the real estate industry has historically relied on supply-side data, which is why you see such a collection of large players in the space on the bottom right. And there's really nobody doing demand-side modeling, which is a leading set of indicators of how a product will perform once on market. And the best combination is ultimately the holistic model of bringing it all together. To date, we've raised about $3.7 million over our first two rounds. We're initiating a new round right now for another $1.7 million. We launched our first product in January of 2023, and our trademark registration was approved in 2023. Our patents were filed in 2022. You can just see the scale of the research that the scale of the revenue that this platform can generate. And clearly, the next round is all about scale. We deployed early in the DC, Maryland, Virginia markets, Texas, and North Carolina and Florida, and now we want to bring this to the top 50 markets in the United States. So if you'd like to speak to us, our table is back there. I look forward to talking to many of you. Thank you for your time and attention.